Megan Okonski, and this is a flow to find calm. It is a great flow for before bed or after a busy work day. You may want to grab a block and a strap. They are totally not necessary. You are enough, but it might be nice to have those guys nearby. So enjoy.
We're going to start this flow by coming to a comfortable seat at the top of our mat. This could mean sitting cross-legged, sitting on your knees, sitting in bound angle pose. The only two things that I ask of you during this flow are to listen to your body and to breathe. If you stop breathing during this flow, we're going to run into problems, and that would not be very nice, not very relaxing. When you start to breathe deep, when you start to focus on your inhales and your exhales, your body sends a signal to your mind that says you're in a safe place, that you can relax. No matter where you're practicing, whether you're on a mat or a towel or on the floor, whether it's nighttime in the morning, if you're by yourself, if you're in a rush, when you're on your mat, you're in a safe place. When you're in your body, you're in a safe place. We're going to do a few things during this flow to help you find grounding, find balance. I'm going to do 2 different breathing exercises, but before we do that, let's start by clasping our hands together and placing them on the top of your head. This may feel very silly, but just kind of go with it. You can close your eyes. You don't want to put too much pressure on your head, but you can put a little pressure and just feel the connection between the top of your head and your hands. Feel where they meet and focus on that connection. Let's breathe together, feeling this connection. So exhale everything out. Let's inhale together. Exhale. Inhale together. Exhale. One more. Inhale together. And exhale. If you're ever feeling stressed or feeling anxious, putting this pressure, a little bit of weight on your head, you can put it on your shoulders or on your knees or thighs, can help to ground you and help you focus, help to bring calm back into your mind, back into your body. We're going to go into our first breathing technique called Nadi Shodhana Pranayama, or alternate nostril breathing. This type of breath helps us again to find grounding, helps to balance out the 2 hemispheres of the brain that control the 2 hemispheres of the body, helps to balance out all the dualities that we face in our life, the sun and the moon, the yin and the yang, etc., etc. So let's begin. Take your thumb and your pinky finger and put your thumb on your right nostril. Inhale through your left nostril, then place your pinky onto your left nostril, release your thumb, and exhale out of your right nostril. Inhale through your right nostril, switch fingers, and exhale through your left nostril. Inhale through your left nostril, switch, exhale through your right nostril. Inhale through your right nostril, switch, exhale through your left nostril. Continue to do this breathing on your own time, using your own breath. When we practice vinyasa yoga, we are practicing a flow, one breath to one movement flowing throughout our practice. Continue to connect your breath to your movements and use your own breath. Listen to your own body. I'm going to start to wrap up this breathing. So when you get to a point where you are exhaling through your left nostril, release both of your fingers and release your hands down onto your thighs. Let's do one breath here through both nostrils, through your nose. Exhale, release. Going to start twisting a little bit. If twists aren't in your practice, you can stay upright and keep your hands on your thighs, focusing on that connection. If you would like to twist, take your left hand, place it on your right knee, and place your right hand behind you. On your inhales, focus on lengthening your spine, bringing your shoulders away from your ears and reaching the crown of your head toward the sky. On your exhales, twist a little deeper. Find one thing that you can soften. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist and soften. Let's do one more. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist and soften. Your next inhale, you're going to release from the twist, switch to the other side with your right hand on your left knee and your left hand behind you. Keep your left hand as close to your butt as you can so that you can kind of force yourself to sit up a little straighter, sit up a little prouder. Again, on our inhales, we want to lengthen that spine. Exhale, twist a little deeper. See if you can bring your gaze over your left shoulder. If that's not comfortable for your neck, or if that causes pain in your neck, you do not have to gaze over that shoulder. Gaze wherever it's comfortable. Let's do one more inhale, lengthening the spine. And exhale, twist a little deeper. On your inhale, release from the twist. Bring your hands in front of you. We're going to come into a neutral tabletop. So on all fours, with your wrists underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. We're going to take 3 breaths to just move organically, whether that's cat-cow movements, moving your hips a little bit, flipping your wrists over and kind of moving into that tension. The name of the game here is just listening to our body. What does our body want? If we're feeling tense in one area, that's okay. We want to observe that tension, but we don't want to judge that tension. When we observe our body and our surroundings without judgment, we are practicing mindfulness. And that mindfulness can bring us clarity, can bring us peace, can bring us into the present moment. We're going to start moving into stargazer pose. So extend your left leg behind you and place your heel so that it's in line with your right knee and your right toes. Start to lift your left arm up toward the sky. Bring your shoulders together. Open up your heart toward the sky. Gaze up if that's comfortable for you. And feel the freedom in this pose. Feel the connection that you have with all of the other yogis practicing around the world with you at this moment. The yogis practicing in the past. the yogis practicing in the future. Yoga connects us all together through this practice. Let's take one more inhale here to breathe into your side body. Exhale, release. We'll switch to the other side. Come back into that neutral tabletop. Extend your right leg back with your toes on the ground. Just rotate your heel down so that it's in line with your left knee and your left toes. Reach your right arm up toward the sky. And feel that line of energy from your right heel to your right fingertips. Open up your chest, open up your heart chakra. Get that anahata spinning. Feel that compassion you have for yourself, for other yogis. Take this time to thank yourself for getting onto the mat. Let's do one more inhale here. Breathe into that side body. Exhale, slowly come down back into that tabletop position. We're going to head into puppy pose. So start to walk your hands in front of you. Keep your legs and your lower body where it is. Walk your hands in front of you so that your chest reaches toward the mat. Your chin reaches toward the mat. This can bring up a lot of tension, a lot of stretching throughout the shoulders. Breathe into that tension. If something isn't feeling right during this pose, if you're feeling pain during this pose, come out of the pose. You can head into a child's pose or something that suits your body better. All of the poses I am suggesting during this flow are merely suggestions. Your practice is what serves your body. Start to walk your hands back underneath your shoulders to that tabletop. Lift your hips up and head into a downward facing dog. Reach your hips up toward the sky. Reach your heart towards your legs. And breathe here. If you need to bend your knees and pedal out your dog, feel free. If stillness is what's calling for you, stay still. Notice where your shoulders are. Are they hunched up near your ears? If so, start to relax them away from your ears. Relax your neck, relax your head. And breathe here. We're going to do 3 more breaths in this downward dog together. If you need to lower down to your knees at any time, feel free. So exhale everything out. Inhale through your nose. Exhale, open your mouth and sigh it out. Inhale through your nose a little bit deeper than last time. Exhale, sigh it out. Last time, inhale through your nose. Exhale, sigh it out. Start to walk your hands back towards your feet so that you come into Uttanasana, forward fold at the back of your mat. Just start to hang here for a little bit. If you need to bend your knees, bend your knees. Keep the crown of your head pointing toward the mat. You can do whatever you'd like with your arms here. We're going to be here for a few breaths. So you can grab opposite elbows, sway back and forth. You can grab opposite elbows behind your legs. You can clasp your hands and place them on the back of your head, the back of your neck. You can plant your palms in the ground. Whatever feels nice. Let's do one more inhale here. Exhale, plant your hands on the ground and forward fold. Now start to take your hands to either your shin, or you can leave them on the mat, and inhale into a halfway lift, Ardha Uttanasana. In this pose, we want to look like a 7. Keep your shoulders toward your butt, the crown of your head forward. Let's do one more inhale here. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Your next inhale, you're going to reach all the way up to standing with your arms over your head. Exhale, bring your hands to heart center, Anjali Mudra. Let's have 3 breaths here. And during this time, if you have an intention that you would like to set for your practice, you can do so now. Your intention can be a word, a mantra, something that you visualize, anything that keeps you calm, keeps you focused. If you ever run into a tense moment or a moment where you get distracted during your practice, come back to your intention. Come back to that focus. And most importantly, come back to your breath. Let's do one more inhale here. Exhale, side out, bring your hands to your sides, Tadasana. Inhale, reach your arms above you, Urdhva Hastasana, upward salute. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Hinge at your hips. Point the crown of your head toward the floor. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift, shoulders back. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, Urdhva Hastasana, reach up, look up if that's comfortable. Exhale, Tadasana, hands by your side. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana, forward fold. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. And just start to walk your hands forward toward the front of your mat. We're going to come into a plank pose from here, the top of a push-up. Make sure your wrists are underneath your shoulders, hips in line with your shoulders, core engaged, legs engaged. Take one more inhale here. Exhale all the way down so you're laying on your belly. Keep your shoulders and your elbows pointing behind you, pointing together. Untuck your toes and press your big toes onto the mat. I go into cobra pose. So inhale, peel your chest, peel your heart off of the mat, keeping your elbows pointing together, keeping your gaze to where your mat and the earth meet. Let's do one more inhale here, using your back strength to lift you up. Exhale, release all the way down to the ground. Your next inhale, you're going to push up to plank pose, top of a push-up. If you ever need to lower down to your knees, that's okay. You're going to make your way back into that downward facing dog. I'm going to stay here for 3 breaths. Do one more Sun A pose. The sun salutation, Surya Namaskar, is a wonderful way to offer gratitude to the sun that rises every single morning without the need for applause or recognition. Doesn't post its sunrise on Instagram every morning saying, "Look what I did." Sometimes the sunrises go unnoticed, but sometimes when we pay attention, they are the most beautiful things. Let's do one more inhale here. Exhale, sigh it out. Your next inhale, you're going to bend your knees, look towards your hands. Your exhale, travel to the top of your mat. Walk your feet between your hands, step, hop, jump, float, whatever you need to do. Inhale, halfway lift, shoulders back, body at a 7 shape. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach up, Urdhva Hastasana, maybe a little back bend if that's calling for you. Exhale, fold over into Uttanasana, hinging at your hips. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your hands and make your way back into your plank pose. Now you have the option here on your next exhale of lowering all the way down to the ground or halfway down to Chaturanga. On your inhale, if you're on your belly, come back into that cobra pose. If upward facing dog is in your practice, you are free to go there, keeping your gaze up, your shoulders back, away from your ears. Exhale, make your way back into that downward facing dog. Lower your knees down to the ground. Sit your butt back into your heels. Come into a child's pose, reaching your arms in front of you. If it's more comfortable to bring your arms by your sides or any other arm variation, you can feel free to go there. I'll give you 5 breaths here. Inhaling and exhaling. On your inhales, fill yourself up with that intention. And your exhales, release something that is not serving you, either on the mat or in your everyday life. Inhale, fill yourself up with your intention. Exhale, release. Inhale, fill up. Fill up just a little bit more. Sip in a little bit more air. Exhale, release. We're going to make our way into hero's pose next. So start to sit up, still on your knees. We have a few options here for where you can go next. If you are comfortable here, you can stay here, close your eyes and breathe. You can place your palms on your thighs for grounding. You can place the back of your hand on your thigh as an open gesture of acceptance, of openness. If you would like to stretch out your toes, you can tuck your toes underneath you and sit into a yogi toe squat. This is a pretty intense toe stretch, so just remember to breathe here. Or if you would like to get a good quad stretch, you can untuck your toes. Make sure that your knees are on the mat. If your knees are not on the mat during this pose, I recommend that you just stay sitting upright. Start to separate your feet so that your butt is sitting between your feet. Start to walk your hands back behind you, eventually laying down on your back. If you can't get there today, that's okay, because we have a whole lifetime to work on it. And just breathe here. I'm going to give you 3 breaths in the variation that you choose. Inhaling here and exhaling. Inhale, come back to your intention. Exhale. One last time, inhale here. and exhale. If you're in yogi toe squat, you can untuck your toes, feel that sweet relief. If you're lying on your back, come back to sitting up straight. We're going to walk our hands forward back into the tabletop position. I'm going to start doing some shoulder stretches now. Get that tension away from our shoulders. We hold a lot of stress up there. So in your next inhale, reach your left arm toward the sky. Breathe into that side stretch. Exhale, thread your left arm underneath your right. Start to bring your chest down to the ground, your cheek down to the ground. And with that right arm, you can either reach it forward, you can bring it around the back of your body so that it's grabbing your left hip. If there's another variation that's calling for you, you can go there. And do 2 more breaths here. Inhaling into that shoulder stretch and exhaling. Inhale and exhale. Bring your right hand back under your right shoulder. And your next inhale, reach that left arm up toward the sky again. Exhale, slowly, mindfully, bring it down into your tabletop. And let's switch sides. Inhale, reach your right arm up. And exhale, thread the needle. Bring your cheek down to the mat. Bring your chest down to the mat. If you would like to do the same arm variation that you did on the other side, you can go there. If something different is calling for you, you can go there. Don't force yourself into a box that you have to be completely symmetrical on both sides. Our sides are going to be different, and that's okay. Rather than judging or trying to do something that feels more uncomfortable on a different side, just accept the differences between these 2 sides of the body and do what feels right for this side. Let's do 1 more inhale here. On your exhale, bring your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Reach your right arm up toward the sky. And exhale, slowly place it down. Walk your feet back so that you're back into your plank pose. We're not going to do any core work, I promise. But just slowly, mindfully come all the way down onto your belly. Reach your arms out to either side of you so that you're making a T with your body. Gaze over to your left hand to make sure that your hand is extending straight out from your shoulder. Switch your gaze and roll onto your left hip. Place the sole of your right foot onto the ground. You might be off your mat a little bit. That's okay. If you want to deepen this stretch, you can place both soles of your feet on the ground. But this is a really juicy shoulder stretch. I have a lot of yogi friends that call this try to relax pose, TTR pose. So just try to relax. Breathe into your tension. Let's do 1 more inhale here. Exhale, roll back into your belly. And we'll switch sides. So make sure that your right hand is extending from your right shoulder. Switch your gaze and roll onto your right hip. Again, this side might feel completely different than your other side, and that's okay. If you're starting to feel stressed, if you're starting to feel discomfort, just continue breathing. Breathe deeper. Breathe with your intention in mind. Let's do 1 more inhale here. exhale, roll back onto your stomach. And then slowly, gracefully, mindfully roll into your back. And if it's less like a swan and more like a pancake, that's fine too. We're going to go next into legs up the wall pose or waterfall pose. This pose, while you keep your upper body on the ground, start to lift your legs up toward the sky, heels pointing toward the sky. If you have a strap with you, this is a great time to bring the strap around your feet and start to pull your feet toward your chest. Your legs don't have to be straight. Whatever feels comfortable. Everyone is at a different level with this pose. This pose is going to look very different for everyone. If you're near a wall and you would like to literally put your legs up the wall, go for it. It feels really nice. This is a really great pose for before bed or after work. Please don't do this pose while you're driving. And just breathe here. If a pose like shoulder stand or plow are in your practice, you can feel free to go here now. If that doesn't mean anything to you, then don't go there. Completely ignore everything I said. We're going to start going into some supine twists. Supine just meaning laying on your back. If you still want to stay in your shoulder stand or plow, don't feel rushed. Do whatever feels good for you. If twists aren't in your practice, you can stay with your legs up against the wall. If you're ready for some twists, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a good squeeze. Say thank you for all the work you've done today in your flow. And then start to bring your knees over to the right side of your body. You can extend your left arm from your shoulder. Gaze over your left shoulder, if that's comfortable for you. If there's another leg variation that you prefer, you can go there. All that I ask is that you keep your left shoulder on the ground. If that means you have to come out of the twist a little bit, then you can do so. And this is a completely passive pose. So just relax here. On your inhales, fill yourself up with your intention. And on your exhales, find one part of your body that you can soften, that you can release tension from. Let's do one more inhale here. Exhale, sigh it out through your mouth. Your next inhale, hug your knees in toward your chest. And switch sides. Bring your knees over to the left. Gaze over your right shoulder. And breathe here. Again, this side might feel completely different than your other side, and that's okay. The only thing you need to do here is breathe. Let's take one more inhale here. Exhale, sigh it out. Bring your knees back into your chest. If you are in legs up the wall pose or a different closing pose, you can also bring your knees into your chest. If If there is another pose at this time that's calling for you, feel free to go here. If you're ready for Savasana, extend your legs long on the mat, extend your arms next to you. We're going to make our way into our final resting pose. And this can look like whatever you want it to look like. If you want to have your legs in a bound angle with your soles of your feet together and your knees spread wide, that's okay. If you want to have one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly, that's okay. One thing I really like to do is reach my hands over my head and grab opposite elbows. That's okay. Before we sink into our meditation, I want to introduce one last breathing technique. It's more of a cooling breath. This breath is called Krema breath, also known as stair-step breath. And it's called stair-step breath because there's two different steps in your inhales and your exhales. So exhale everything out. And on your inhale, fill up your chest and then fill up your belly. Your exhales are the reverse. So exhale, empty out your belly, empty out your chest. Inhale, fill up your chest. Step 1, fill up your belly. Step 2. On your exhales, empty out your belly. Step 1. Empty out your chest. Step 2. Inhale your chest. 1. Your belly. 2. Exhale from your belly. 1. From your chest. 2. Inhale 1, 2. Exhale 1, 2. You can continue using this breath or any other breath techniques, any other pranayama that is calling for you, where you can use this time, this savasana, for a meditation, to repeat a mantra that is calming, or simply just to let go. This pose is the most important pose of our practice because it allows us to reap the benefits of all of the work that we've done through our flow. Take as much time as you need for this savasana. You absolutely deserve this time to stay in the present, to practice mindfulness, to practice long, deep breathing. By getting onto your mat, you are making an effort to appreciate yourself and to better yourself. When you do that, you start to make the world a better place. There's a quote I really like from a book called Still Life with Woodpecker. And one of the characters says to another character, "A better world has got to start somewhere. Why not with you and me?" Practicing yoga is our way of starting to create a better world around us, to improve our surroundings by improving ourselves. I thank you for all of the work that you've done in this practice today. Again, stay in savasana for as long as you need. Take this time. The light in me honors and sees the light in you, and the teacher in me honors the teacher in you. I humbly bow. Namaste.